Good evening, Reds. This is your host, Jarvis Cocker on Mufc Realist TV. Welcome to Jarvis's Corner. Tonight we are going to cover a lot, but we're going to speak a lot about the Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in as the new assistant manager, maybe. We will speak about Ineos, transfers, Ten Hag, obviously, and much, much more. So I hope you all will be there and stay tuned after the intro. Give me 2 seconds. And where is it? No? Here.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
Yes, and we are back with Jarvis's Corner every Monday, 9 p.m. But tonight we had to go 10 p.m. because of the Euros. So I hope you all are good and you got to see the games. Italy equalized 1-1 in the dying minutes. I think it was 6 or 7 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah, something like that, yeah.
So Italy are actually through. They're meeting Switzerland in the next round. So it's good for the Forza Azzurri. You know, I'm a big Italian fan. Stu, did you catch the game? Did you see it?
I saw a little bit of it because I came out of Monday night retirement tonight, and I wish I'd stayed at home because absolutely woeful. I played all right, but my word. Honestly, what is it with anybody in the VAR room? Please tell me. And this is clearly an age thing, but what is with 20-year-olds and 18-year-olds? You think a 30-yard ball or a trying to beat 3 or 4 players and then going down a blind alley and getting dispossessed, and then everybody's got the overturn. What is it with that? I mean, what do people consider? And I genuinely mean this now. What do people to consider to be a proper footballer? Because I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking, for fuck's sake, just pass it 2 yards, and we can get up the pitch. We can do something with it. So anyway, that's my usual rant out the way. But apart from that, yeah, I'm okay. I had a good weekend. Saw a little bit of Spain. I thought Spain coasted against Albania, if I'm being brutally honest with you, from what I saw. I know Albania are a decent side, and they've been my team in the tournament. I think they've been great, but massively wasteful tonight. But Spain just looked like they're in a league of their own in terms of the way, when they held on to possession, the way they used the ball. You've got Dani Olmo, who's decent, really good player. Ferran Torres, really good player. You've got some, real good, solid footballers that Spain have got in their so-called second team. And I thought they made it look very, very simple against Albania. So the bits and pieces I've seen of Italy, wow, they don't look good, do they? It's just something.
No, but you should never underestimate it.
Never underestimate the Italians.
They have a long tradition of coming good, especially when the knockout rounds start. So I wouldn't underestimate them. And they have a couple of good players. Their goalkeeper, fantastic goalkeeper, and I like their centre backs, Bastoni, and that young kid. Played, and he did a brilliant assist today on Italy's equalizer. But they don't have the little special like they have had in other tournaments.
Yeah, they haven't got the key, have they? They haven't got the key to unlock that door. I mean, I thought it was quite interesting to see. Crikey, what's his name now? The Spanish side. He's about 90, isn't he? Crikey, played for City. What's his name?
On Spain.
Yeah, play for Spain tonight. Play for City. Name escapes me. Plays on the right, doesn't he? Name escapes me.
Someone in the VAR room will
Someone in the VAR room will
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Late on in his career, kept himself fit. Still comes to gets in and plays in tournaments. Really good. Italy don't have that. They haven't got anybody like that. You look in the Portuguese side. They got Pepe at 41. They've got Ronaldo at 39. They've got some, and Pepe I thought was outstanding.
But I have to say, Stu, you have Darmian. Darmian played. It was quite good today. Di Lorenzo, Calafiori, and Bastoni with Donnarumma in behind.
Yeah,
and defense can win the championship at the end.
Darmian he needs a bit of a haircut in my humble opinion, but he's all right actually. Darmian, it's good to see him. I don't think we ever saw the real Darmian. At Manchester United, we didn't see the real player. I think he needed to. It wasn't quite right for him. But I think it's been a brilliant tournament so far. I've been really impressed. There's been some real bad games, real bad performances. England, of course, haven't really kicked going, and Scotland. Well, I mean, unbelievable. Scotland last night should have seriously decided, within the change room before we go out, we either get beat 6-0 or we win.
Yeah, they should have went for it. Just go.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. A chance to get in, and the penalty. Everybody's screaming about Stonewall penalty, etc. I think it was bad centre forward play. To be honest, we should have.
We put his foot out in a way in front of the defender. What happened actually? Was it a penalty in your mind?
Yes and no. There's two elements for it for me. First and foremost, it was really bad centre forward play because you got to cross the defender. When the defender's on the back foot, you got to cross him, so he's got no choice to clip your legs and take you out, or the goalkeeper's going to come and smash you. So I thought he was quite weak-minded, and I don't know. He didn't actually really collect the ball properly. It kind of bounced off his one of his ankles. And then the ball did get in front of him, so he should have still veered in front of the defender. But if you look at the Scottish forward, he's grabbed the shirt of the defender, and the defender's also grappling him. So for the letter of the law, it's actually a spot kick because he's brought down in it. But any decent striker, you should be that single-minded that I'm not going down for the love nor money. I'm in on goal in the Euros, and I'm going to do everything I can. And I thought he went down way too easy. So for me, I thought it was poor. People would disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. But I tell you what, Ruud wouldn't have gone down. Ronaldo wouldn't have gone down. Haaland wouldn't have gone down. Rooney wouldn't have gone down. York, Cole, Mark Hughes, McClare. I could name hundreds of forwards which have stayed on their feet as best they can, and they probably would have scored. So I just thought it was quite poor, if I'm being honest, by Armstrong.
I just want to say what you spoke about first with young kids playing football is very frustrating, and it was Johan Cruyff who said playing football is very simple, but playing simple football is the hardest thing there is, and that's a skill you develop by age, and you see it all the time with youngsters. They have too much courage. They don't think. They just try to do whatever when they're on the pitch. Look what I can do.
Yeah, I actually think I talk to a lot of people about football, as you well know, and I always ask the question, what do you think makes a great footballer? And it's always somebody who can, dribble with the ball, or somebody who can do a 40-yard pass. Those are irrelevant skills. What do you mean irrelevant skills? You blah, blah. I said, no. I said a competent footballer, a real great footballer is N'Golo Kante. He gets the ball, he knows his limitations, and he deals with it. That's what a good footballer is. A good footballer doesn't give the ball away during matches. Good footballer knows how to read the game. Pepe at 41 years old knows how to read the game still. Sergio Ramos knows how to read the game still. Ronaldo, although he's dropping off a little bit, knows how to read the game still. Messi, to an extent, knows how to read the game. Busquets, all these players that have played at the very, very highest level can maintain the highest level purely by brain power. And the best way to play football is via brain power. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Football's 95% brain, 5% feet. Your brain tells your feet what to do. And I get so frustrated when you're playing with these young lads and you're trying to impart a little bit of wisdom and you say, just get hold of the fucking football, for God's sake. Get hold of it. You don't have to go forward all the time. You can actually come back and we can spray it across that way. So we can find some space around the wings. You don't always have to go forward. Very, very frustrating. But the great Johan Cruyff did say that.
Yeah, he said. But the thing is, when it comes to football, it's scanning is very important in modern day football. You have to scan all the time. But it's not just about scanning, because your eyes see a lot of things, but how you process the things you see.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, using your brain all the time. And that's
the
very
other thing
difficult to learn young players, actually, that skill.
It's terrible. Yeah. So, and the other thing that I find fascinating more than anything, and that is, if you are scanning and you want, there's a level of understanding about what's evolving in front of you. Knowing which foot to actually take the ball to enable you to then get the very best out of that situation. And what I mean by that is sometimes you're best off taking out your left foot, even if you can't play with your left foot, because that's the quickest and most efficient way of getting it out or getting it across to where you need to be. If you can't do it and you're using your right foot, you're having to take 2 touches, get it under control, and then move it. If you can try and use your left foot and sweep it across, everything has to be done in a more efficient way, and kids of today just don't get it. They then again, their girlfriends
some of them do, but
their girlfriends come and watch, don't they? And they, whoa, check me out, hey, and all that kind of nonsense. But,
Well, where's my manners again? And we just have to say hi to the
yes,
VAR.
hi to the VAR.
So many legends here tonight. I see Stephanie Griffith, Brendan Chappell is here. Abebe Deliso, Jack Hoff is here. Big up,
Jack's
Jack
been
Hoff.
a member for 6 months, hasn't
Yes, Jack Hoff is a member for 6 months. Thank
Well
you,
done,
Jack
Jack
Hoff, for sticking around for 6
Well
months.
done,
You will
Jack.
stick around much more.
Hoff. That's how you do it, isn't it, Jarvis? Jack.
Mr. Hoff.
Hoff. The Hoff. Why don't we'll just call him the Hoff?
The Hoff.
The Hoff. Big in Germany, apparently.
Yeah. We have Duel 5 in the house. The Wootinator is here. Ashid Mia. Rush Mano, the legend, is always here. Rush Mano, feel free to send me a lot of updates in the transfer market, and we will go through them later during the show. And Johnny K is in the house. John Kermode, all the way from the US of A. He say, evening all, smash the like on the radio. We'll be listening to show driving home from work. Incredible from Italy. Drive safe,
welcome, Johnny K.
Welcome. Drive safe. And who else? Dave 147. We have Sandra Meyers, Melise Kass. We just scroll up. Philip 1987. No, 1980. Why did I say 87?
I don't know.
1980. And Danny B, Cooper, Andy. So there's a lot of legends in the chat. And remember,
Simon Davis is here as well, friend. Simon Davis is back.
Ooh, Simon Davis.
Yay. 24 likes as well.
24 likes, and keep smashing that like, because tonight we're going to dive into the latest with Ruud van Nistelrooy. So let's just start with the Nistelrooy news, because we heard yesterday from Fabrizio that Ruud van Nistelrooy has been approached to be a part of Erik Ten Hag's new staff at Manchester United, and there were strong rumors at the time that he was going to come in as the new attacking manager. Replacing the guy who what's the name again? Benny McCarthy. Yeah. But today it came out new updates from Fabrizio that he's tempted as Man United to be a part of Ten Hag's new staff, and there were a lot of people talking about he will come in as assistant manager. So, Stu, what's your thoughts? Is it a clever move to bring in Ruud, or how do you see it?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question to answer. I can understand the fan base getting giddy. Look, Ruud for me is our most clinical striker ever. Having him on board would be sensational. It really would. But I believe that you're in the Xabi Alonso type of scenario for him. What's best for him right now, as well as what's best for the club. And what we saw and what he did at PSV is, very akin to what Alonso has done at Leverkusen. Obviously, not an unbeaten season, finishing second in the in Holland, and of course, scoring about 126 goals or something along those lines in the process.
Banging in goals,
yes,
which inside the 18-yard box,
which you would expect that. Yeah. But we know the difficulties that the Premier League has for some of the best managers that have managed in the game. We know exactly what Erik Ten Hag, Arne Slot have done in Holland. And Erik Ten Hag has had a steady, some would say underwhelming 2 years at Manchester United. We don't know what Arne Slot's going to do. And then you've got the ambition side of Ruud. By all accounts, he's been offered the Burnley job. Would that be right for him? He removed himself from the Feyenoord situation. Was it Feyenoord or PSV? PSV?
I think it was PSV.
PSV situation. Yeah. And nobody really knows as to why, I don't think, unless somebody could tell us in the VAR room as to what the significance of his removal, because he decided that wasn't for him. So, so do you get your giddy hat on, Jarvis? And if you do, then yes, I'm absolutely elated. But do you put your football brain on and look at the pros and cons of it? So the pros and cons will be, first of all, will he be pigeonholed as a striker coach only? Or will he be privy to basic training sessions? Will he be under Van der Gaag? If he goes as an assistant coach, will he be under McLaren as an assistant coach? How will that work as a trio? Who will have seniority? Will Ruud have his voice heard? Won't he have his voice heard? Is he there to learn? Isn't he there to learn? Is there a longer term plan? Do the board think that he is Manchester United's Xabi Alonso?
Yeah.
Or not? I find it quite fascinating that he's been linked to us. I think it's absolutely superb. From a fan, let me just take it from a fan's perspective. Absolutely. I think it'd be brilliant for us. But do we consider it's best for him and best for the club? What are we expecting as a fan base? Are we expecting Rasmus Højlund to turn from a 16 goal a season striker to a 40 goal a season striker within a short period of time? Are we expecting that? He will obviously be able to impart phenomenal wisdom in terms of where to be, how to deliver yourself at the right time, how to assess a cross, where, look at the fly to the ball, all these types of things that a striker needs to understand. And for me, so there's loads of questions, and we should be asking questions. I really believe we should be asking questions. So I have two hats with it. The one is 100%. I'd love him at Manchester United. There's absolutely no two ways about it. I would absolutely love him because I know what he would bring. Yes, he does have to add value. And I kind of just think that let's just take a step back and look at the bigger picture of this. So we know that either the club or Ten Hag was looking at Gary O'Neill.
Yeah, you heard rumors of Gary O'Neill, the ex-Wolf manager, now managing.
He's managing Wolves.
Yeah, managing Wolf. Yeah.
Bournemouth manager, now managing Wolves.
Bournemouth.
And he's done a terrific job there. But Gary O'Neill was never going to leave Wolves to come in a kind of a number two role. So Ruud's decision and choice is got to be ruled by his head, not his heart. Because his heart, he's already in Manchester United. He'd walk there tomorrow. We all know this. Everybody knows this. Mourinho will walk back tomorrow. We all know this. We do. There are certain managers that will walk back tomorrow. We know all of this. But then he's got to look at his career trajectory moving forward.
Yeah.
And what are the limitations of him, unless he's been told, this is what we want from you. This is where we see you in 2 years' time. So my head says, get in, son, because he would be fucking, I mean, if you're Rasmus Højlund, you must be praying, literally praying that he walks through the door. But if you're Ruud van Nistelrooy, you've got the scales to tip. Either, I want to go back to Manchester United and see where I go from there, or I need to forge my own path.
Yeah.
Because when you've been the manager of a football club, going as a two, I think would be quite difficult because you're fresh out of the job. You're fresh from it. Whereas McLaren kind of was always kind of really a number two, had these managerial roles, but was really a number two, and he knew that.
Yeah.
But Ruud's stock is massively high at the moment. That would be my only question. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, you raise a good point there, Stu, and you know, we as fans, we get giddy, and we are allowed to get giddy. You know, it's not our choice to make when it comes to who will be. But for me, in all of this, everybody speaks about Ruud van Nistelrooy and Ten Hag. For me, I think about Ineos in all of this. If they are trying to be the best and they are going to bring in the top shelf players, managers, staff, whatever, is Ruud the best? Do we have the what do you call it? Criteria to be?
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about best in class, and you're absolutely right. But you're buying promise here, aren't you? You're buying a promise. I always think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I always thought, and I said to you, didn't I, when Xabi Alonso was linked with Liverpool, and I said to you that'd be the biggest mistake of his professional career, because you don't know. You're comfortable at the moment. Can you do that in the Champions League? Can you replicate what you've achieved in the Bundesliga next season? And if you can, wow, hey, look, fucking hats off to you, mate. You know, I'll clap and then go to Real Madrid with everybody's blessing. And this is where I like Ruud way too much to want him to have that opportunity to do what he wants to do. He's earned that, Jarvis. He's earned that opportunity to do what he wants to do. And I just feel that it won't be as cut and dried as we're all hoping, because I am hoping, guys. I mean, you know, the VAR room, no, definitely I have to Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, crikey, his movements, you salivate again. You know, I would hate to have played against him as a centre half. I would have absolutely hated it. You're coming up, you know, you think, fucking, I got Van Nistelrooy. He drops deep. He's strong. He's aggressive. But fuck me, he can finish. I mean, he is the typical.
Probably the best finisher we ever had at Old Trafford.
He'll be at the game for 90 minutes. Bang, thank you very much. And he peels away with his fucking goal. You know, Ruud van Nistelrooy is playing for Scotland. They win that game last night, 1-0. That's where you are with it. We had it with Erik Cantona, you know, in the early 90s. The Newcastle away game where we beat them 1-0 was, you know, we were getting battered for 70 odd minutes. You know, the ball comes in, you know, Cantona bang, peels away. We win the game 1-0. That is what Ruud offers you. Now, as a striker, if you're Rasmus Højlund, like I say, you'd be drooling, Jarvis. You'd be picking up the phone yourself. Please come, please come, please come. I need to know what you can, you know, what can you show me? What am I doing wrong? Where can I improve? How do I watch the flight of the ball? How? Because Ruud's attention to detail, not many people will get his attention to detail. He studied absolutely everything. Wind, you know, so that if it was a particularly windy day, you know, how do I get my run going? Am I 2 seconds later, you know, a millisecond quicker, whatever? He would do all of this to make sure that and you don't score 150 goals.
No, it's true.
By not understanding the flight of the football, the trajectory of a football, where it's likely to drop in the 6-yard box or the penalty spot, and he was there because he knew.
His
knew.
What do you call it? Anticipation? No, ability to sniff out the goal. Yeah,
anticipation. But he worked on his craft. It's a craft.
I see here Danny B comes in. Big up Danny B. He said, Jarvis, we only talked about this a few weeks ago with that Erik Ten Hag needed help, and we suggested Ruud as an attacking coach at the time. And I remember Danny B. We talked about it, and I've been thinking about it for myself a long time that Ruud van Nistelrooy actually could be a good coach to bring in the coaching staff. But as an assistant manager, as Ten Hag's number 2, this is where I maybe question it. Do we have the experience to come in? Because we know the pressure when it comes to Man United, and Ruud van Nistelrooy has a history of not being very easy to cooperate with. We all know when we signed him, we had to get rid of Andy Cole right away because Ferguson believed that pairing up with Ruud van Nistelrooy wasn't going to work. So we sold him to Blackburn Rovers. And the same with Diego Forlan, because Ruud's Ferguson said Ruud's singularity, because he wanted to be the number 1 finisher. He couldn't play with someone else. So this is the mentality of Ruud van Nistelrooy. So it's very interesting to have someone like that as Ten Hag's number 2. How will he deal with this type of players, this squad? Will it be a lot of upsets and a lot of players like going up against the coaching team?
I think. Oh, you make it all right, dude.
Hey, big up.
Yeah, I know.
I agree. Look, Ruud is one of these players where if he didn't score, don't talk to him for 48 hours.
Yeah.
You know, if you could have passed the ball back to him, or you could have whipped that cross in earlier, and you didn't do it, and he didn't get on the score sheet that day, you'd know about it, and that's how it should be. That's what a clinical striker is about, and that's what it should be. Now, as a manager and a coach, you have to change that. You have to change that mannerism, because you can't have that. You've got to have a mannerism, still of perfection, but this is what I need you to do, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to do it. That's so when you're listening to Ruud van Nistelrooy, you're listening to me, you're looking at me in the eyes. He's got those brown hazel eyes, those dark eyes, and he's telling you, he's explaining to you, watch what I do, watch my movement. I'm watching the centre half all the time. I'm going to either get behind him quickly so he doesn't know. I'm going to get in front of him. I'm going to elbow him out the way. I'm going to do something to disrupt that centre half. And he would be so meticulous in his positional play, how quickly he would join the attack, how slowly he would join the attack, whether he'd go near post, far post, because he would know instantaneously. And it's by work. I mean, Andy Cole was famous. I interviewed Andy Cole a few times.
Really?
And I asked him about, I met him and interviewed him. The last time I interviewed him was at Le Mans a few years ago. And I said to him, I said, look, just explain to me the mindset of a striker. He said, Stu, I can't. I said, 90% is ability. I can't explain the extra 10%.
Yeah.
And I said, what is that 10%? It is the instinct to get there. He couldn't explain it. And I find that fascinating, so. And again, let me go back to it, guys. Everyone in the VAR room, my heart just tells me, yes, wow. I get so excited thinking of Ruud back at. I mean, can you imagine the response he would get? I mean, Erik, Van der Gargu, Ruud van Nistelrooy, you get shivers down your spine at Old Trafford when he walked out. You'd get absolute shivers. But I think it's a bigger decision than perhaps we realise for him as a where he is in his career right now.
Yeah.
100%.
I think you're right. Big up, Mick. You have been in the back room producing the show so far, and you have been listening to what we have been talking about. So what's your 100%. Thought on Ruud van Nistelrooy?
First and foremost, I think it's a brilliant idea for a succession plan, right? Because we know that they did a strategical review for a succession plan. But not only that, when you have a double Dutch, you have a legend of scorer of the game. We know that Benny McCarthy is out of contract. We know that Michel van der Gaag is under contract, and McLaren. What has he done, the McLaren, right? He's out of date. So you need more of a modern coach. So Van Nistelrooy joining Ten Hag as assistant, I think it's a brilliant move, 100%. If you just look at what he did at PSV, in 2022-23 season, he won the KNV Cup, Cruyff Shield, finished second, 69.7% win rate ratio. Like, Ruud is known for his high footballing IQ and his passion. You see how he celebrates, how he's manning his feet. I mean, I think it's his tactical nuance. Like, he managed 50 games at PSV only, right? But the fact that he wants to come to the club as a legend, come back there to learn. Apparently, he said it like, I want to learn from Ten Hag. He rates Ten Hag very high. So the fact if the pulling power to say, like, to go to the Burnley, sort of like the Premiership, or go to the club, the biggest club in the world, and be the assistant manager, what do you think has the higher pulling power? And that I might be the successor after Ten Hag to take over. You will learn so much more at Manchester United. It's a high pressure job, but it's a culture that he well knows and understands. So there's a double-edged sword there as well, like from a striking ability, the Rasmus Højlund, what he will learn from him. And also, if you look at Joshua Zirkzee, we're trying to pull him in. I mean, imagine like he's choosing, who's going to be your assistant manager? Ruud van Nistelrooy. Shit, I'm coming, right? Who doesn't want to be coached by Ruud van Nistelrooy if you're a striker? Listen, I think this is a brilliant move. If this happens, I created a poll. You got to look at the existing, like, as I said, McLaren. Yeah, he managed England and all that stuff. Like, he's a little bit of a dinosaur. But this is a club appointment by the sons of it. Like, they want to sort of get the best in class people in. So I think it's excellent. Like, he nurtured Gapco, Brentwaite, Simmons. Like, he was actually coaching Brentwaite as well. Like, he lost Bakayoko, Savio, Madueke, Teze, all these players. Like,
Yeah.
So he's not a mug. Like, even if you manage 50, I think to get him with his knowledge and the attitude and aptitude to learn, I mean, I think this is brilliant. We couldn't even get any better, A club legend that understands as well. Or you will get an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as assistant coach, but he wouldn't come, right? But Ruud is even better.
Yeah. When I think of Ruud van Nistelrooy, people think of his goals and what a great striker he was. But he has, remember, guys, this guy has a temper. He's a winner. He wants to win, and we all have been fantasizing about. Imagine getting Roy Keane back to in the coaching staff. He could yell at the players and finally get them going. But I think actually Ruud van Nistelrooy is a type like this. He can actually fire up the guys, and he don't take any bullshit. After losing 2006, after winning the League Cup final over Wigan 4-0, he fell out with Sir Alex Ferguson, swearing at him in the locker room after the game. He didn't take anything from no one. And that was the end for Ruud van Nistelrooy, because we know Ferguson is the same type of character. So he didn't accept this from Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then Ruud van Nistelrooy out the door. But I believe he will come in and bring some passion into the group, some aggression, some temper. And I think it's actually quite good, because Ten Hag is very balanced. You see the same with Van der Gaag, McLaren. They all have the same type of temper. I would like someone on the coaching staff to fire up the boys when needed.
Jarvis and Stu, don't you think that that's the missing piece that we're missing? Like, when you look at Ollie's bench, you had the iPad generation, right? You had McKenna. Who else did you have? McKenna and what was this? They were sitting with the iPads, right? You look at Ten Hag. He's a little bit laid back. You need somebody that's a drill sergeant that needs to be shouting there on the touchline. Being the conductor, get back there. You know what I mean? Right? We've been missing this. Okay, Ten Hag stands a little bit on the touchline, but he's not really that type of drill sergeant that will shout at you, that will actually have this. He's a winner, but I think to add on van Nistelrooy into like, to these coaching staff and get him to sort of run up the touchline and sort of push the players, like, get in there, like, get in some. So I think that is what we need. I don't know what you think, but
yeah, I'm interested in hearing Stu's opinion on this temper and aggression.
Well, that's kind of my game, unfortunately. So I get what Mick's saying, because my game is based on aggression. That's what fires me up. I have my best games when I'm fighting somebody on the pitch, whoever it may be, and I try and target somebody early doors and do everything I can to get them to bite at me. As soon as they bite at me, I'm happy, because I've got somebody, I've got him wound up and I'm ready. So then I'll just give him a little kick afterwards and see what happens. And that's what gets me in the zone. Now, we haven't had that for such a long time. You've heard me call players of all clubs posers in the past, because I think they are. I think they're more interested in their hairstyles, they're more interested in the way that they look, what adverts they can do, etc., 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 what boot deals they can do, what they can get up promotionally off the pitch, and sometimes in playing the game. And we've had that in our own club as well as other clubs. Dele Alli, great example. Unfortunately, falling in with the wrong crowd or whatever. We know the talent that player has. It's sad, sickening that he's nowhere near a top club at the moment, and will never ever be and grace a Manchester United or grace a Liverpool. He won't ever do that, because he was too busy with his Rolls Royces. Memphis Depay had exactly the same problems, but he's changed. He's managed to change his attitude and become the top player that we thought he would be. Jadon Sancho hasn't. Jadon Sancho has gone back into this this arrogance. So Ruud coming in, and if you miss a good chance, you're going to know. You're going to know. If you're Højlund and you've missed a 3-yard sitter, you're not going to want to come off that pitch. I'll tell you that for nothing.
No, you're going to rip you. Listen, I'm going to add this to the stage, guys, because this is the reaction what you're getting from Kobe Mano, right? I don't know if you've seen this. This is the Kobe Mano account. He puts the eyes on an MUFC. Like, what kind of impact will, Ruud is respected. This creates a new passion, new fight within the team, and the excitement of being coached. All of a sudden, a legend of Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in. And I'm just saying, like, Kobe Mano put a tweet out with a couple of eyes. So I think that they will absolutely love it. I know.
Yeah, I agree. Stephanie coming in. We are 5 likes away from 50 likes.
50.
So people hit that like. We should at least have had 100 likes before this show is over. I'm not doing a challenge on 100 likes, but please, we really appreciate it on Jarvis.
I'm not going to be here for the challenge, but if we get 100 100 likes, Stu is going to do the chicken dance.
I'll do the chicken dance, Brendan's made a point about you can't always lead through fear. We're not actually talking about leading through fear, but we're talking about somebody who's got the ability to kind of put a rocket up some of these players' asses, and we haven't had that for a long time. So, as you do need to sit in that dressing room and look around and think, Ruud's going to have a pop at me here. You do need that kind of happy medium, that balance.
Stu, do you think Ineos saw this when they did the assessment of Ten Hag and figured out that this was the missing piece?
Yeah, there's look, we saw in the summer or just after Alonso won the Bundesliga, we saw exactly what happened. We saw the clamoring of we must get Alonso, Liverpool must get Alonso, Bayern Munich must get Alonso, Real Madrid must get Alonso, etc., etc., etc. And there's nothing to suggest that Ineos haven't looked at Ruud and thought there's a similarity there between the two, the way that Ruud likes to play. The way, and Mick's right, by the way, the way that he likes to manage and his coaching ability. And they think to himself, well, Alonso's off the market anyway, because he's likely to go to Real Madrid, isn't he, when Ancelotti, one would suggest. Okay. So are we now protecting ourselves for 2 to 3 years down the road? Yes, we probably are. If we feel and they feel that. So yes, I think that they won't have just gone and decided that Ruud's the man without their due diligence. Now, if you remember, with about 6 to 8 weeks before the season, they were interested in Gary O'Neill. They went to Gary O'Neill with a similar proposal, didn't they? And Gary O'Neill was never going to come to us. He's managed in the Premier League. He's got a safe job at Wolves, hasn't he? He did all right with Bournemouth. So you're never going to get that. But Ruud was available. And I do believe that, Jesus Christ, if you can get Ruud working with our current under-18s, they're absolutely smashed. Wheatley. Fucking hell, Wheatley again.
Yeah.
Now, he's decent anyway, but can you imagine working with Ruud day in and day? This is where I'm getting a bit soppy and a bit giddy. This is where, this is where my man head comes on. And if I'm Wheatley, I'm just like, fucking hell. I can't fucking believe it. And
Jarvis, you mentioned a good point there, Jarvis, because there was probably part of the strategical review. They looked at the whole coaching stuff and what's the missing piece. Is Michel van der Gaag good enough? Is McLaren good enough? And you know what they're always saying? We want to bring in the best in class. They did an assessment of Ten Hag. They kind of realized he's the man to lead us forward. But what about the coaching? They're not going to give Ben McCarthy a new contract. They're going to put in the coaches that we need. Basically clearing out the deadwood that was. Basically we inherited coaches that was part of Ole's squad, Mourinho squad. That's been there lingering on. So they basically that's a very good question though, because maybe they looked at Ruud van Nistelrooy and say, well, he's the best in class. He might be your successor after you leave.
It is like this. Sometimes you have to just remove some of the pieces to be better. As an example, Liverpool, the Beatles had to change the drummer from Pete Best to Ringo Starr. Sometimes you just had to tweak a little bit just to get a little bit better. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. No, totally.
Just run a poll basically, and I posed a question. There's 74 votes, and I said, do you think that the Ruud is the best option to bolster our attack? And 96% says yes. So I think the majority of fan base is thinking, well, wow, not only as a system manager, but bolstering that attack, right? Attacking third.
I think Mano brings up a good point, and I say to me it's obvious. To me it's obvious that Ruud will replace Erik Ten Hag. He fits the profile. He's young, high potential, and the fan base would love him, and that's true. And we're not getting ahead of ourselves. He's not even appointed yet, but I can also see Ruud van Nistelrooy in the future be a natural, I would say, manager to come in after Ten Hag if they succeed as a
very tiny spanner there, then, Joe. It's just a very tiny spanner, and
that was my arguing point. That why would you choose assistant manager at Manchester United or go to Burnley? I think that the pulling power of becoming assistant manager is, I think it weighs more than actually going to Burnley, because he said, I want to learn from the best, Erik Ten Hag, and potentially I'm going to be the successor, right?
Yeah.
After you've been the assistant manager at United, you can go wherever you want. You know what I mean?
But just a word of caution though, if Ten Hag miraculously we do a double next year, who knows? We do a double next year. We win the Premier League the year after. We win the Champions League the year after that. Ten Hag then signs another contract. What will Ruud's time scales be? Just a thought.
But it's either that,
it's a good question. It's a good question. What do you think?
No, but
what's his time span?
Just look at Omar Berrada, for example, right? He was the chief operating officer, right, at Citigroup, right? That is the assistant to the CEO, almost like that's tiered down under the CEO. You work in parallel. Look what he stuck to his guns, and he got the CEO role at Manchester United. So I'm trying to draw a parallel, to be assistant coach with under Manchester United will lead you to either, if you get the head coach role at Manchester United, you might get, I don't know. The world is the oyster after this. Jack Hoff.
Delete.
Big up Indiana. Rudy is such a good finisher. Would get a woman pregnant, but just look.
No, he probably would. Yeah.
Indy, you're crazy, man. Big up, man.
Duncan Belito. I believe Ruud and Ten Hag is polar opposite personalities when it comes to each other's. Love to see Ruud van Nistelrooy as assistant to Ten Hag.
But
Yeah,
as Mick said, though,
that's what we have
maybe Ten Hag himself has suggested, I need to be challenged. I need Ruud to come in and challenge me. Maybe he's had that conversation with the guys about this, and he said, right, and he said to Van der Gaag, he said to McLaren, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want Ruud to do, but I need you to challenge me. I need you to be on my case, because some people require that.
I mean, if you read body language, if you look at the bench, if you look at the coaches, there's not much of a passion and action going on there in between them in conversations. Nothing happens, right? So you need a little bit of Ruud to challenge a little bit, like,
Do you
maybe
think
throw in a Dutch clog? He will take off his Dutch. He will take off this Dutch clog and throw it. Here you go.
But Mick, do you think he's surrounded by yes men, Ten Hag?
Oh God, yeah, I do as well.
You think so?
Don't
you think McLaren or Van der Gaag challenge him on his?
Well, there was always a question mark from my end, like in terms of team selection, right? Manager is not solely responsible for picking up the team selection. He also consults with his assistant managers and the coaches, right? So we were a little bit dubious when we said, like, why you keep picking these players? Why you keep picking that players? Until the last couple of games of the season where we saw totally different. So maybe he was more turning to his, deputies and say, I just kind of feel that he was a little bit of a yes man situation, right? But therefore, you need a little bit more grit to say, no, don't play Anthony because he's not worth it, right? He needs to work harder, right? Drop Rashford because certain reasons.
Absolutely.
So I think Ruud will give you that.
But when it comes to dynamic in the coaching staff, as a leader myself, you sometimes need someone to be
100%.
the good cop and the bad cop. Because if Ten Hag is always the one who has to be the bad cop, he won't get the players to love him in a way, if you understand.
No, true. I mean, if you look at relationship in general,
come in and change their dynamics, sometimes be the bad cop, and Ten Hag can actually come in and, okay, Ruud, it's okay. I'll put the arm on the shoulder on this player and help him to get better.
I just posed the question to the VR room and to yourself, like, look at relationships, right? It's the opposite that attracts, right? So if you marry somebody that is equally to you, you're not getting challenged, right? You just get bored. But if you have somebody that will put more fire into you, that will push you to become better, right? So that's why we say opposite attracts in relationships. So you're 100% right. So you need that. Otherwise, it's going to be. Otherwise, you have plus. You got to have plus minus. That's my thought on it.
I mean, we were talking. If you remember, three of us, we were talking. I don't know, about 2-3 months ago. We were talking about the real difficulties of squad rebuilding. We all mentioned first and foremost, you have to look at personalities. You have to look at the big personalities. What's this person going to do to the dressing room? Is he going to G it up, or is he going to, cause a rift? Before you look at ability sometimes. And I think that Ruud's got this personality, this strong energy, this real cutthroat, ruthless nature about him that this squad of players needs. It has to have it. It has to have this balance. Everybody's talking about the balance of England right now. It's rubbish, and it is rubbish. You can't put Phil Foden out on the right. We all know that. You drop him for tomorrow night. You put Cole Palmer in there. That's what you do. Everybody knows you put Cole Palmer where Foden plays right now, and he will add a better balance. Put Kobe Mano in. He won't make it. We hear that Gallagher's going to get the position ahead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold should never have been there. And you need somebody like Ruud to come and say, "Whoa, hold on, Erik. You know as well as I do that's not going to work."
Yeah, I mean,
just player out to dry.
How many goals did Cole Palmer score on his debut? I think it was over 20 goals, right?
Oh, a tremendous player. Player.
Well, he's sitting on the bench. And look at Anthony Gordon, the outputs of energy that he on the bench.
Yeah, another one.
I don't understand. Anyway, big up people for smashing the like button. We have 56 watching. There's over 300 of you right now live. This is Jarvis's Corner. I'm just the host, co-host, just jumping in. Co-host. I'm supposed to be asleep, Jarvis.
I'm the host. Yes. I have two co-hosts. That's the
I
great.
was going to say, have I been fired? Have I been fired? No, Jesus! Bloody hell! Crikey!
He just kicked me. I mean, the sin bin, orange card.
Sin bin, get him oranged. Get him oranged.
But moving on and speaking a little bit about tomorrow's game with England, Stu, as an Englishman, how do you see the game? Do you think England will go through and win this game easily? And do you think Southgate will actually improve his starting 11 and try to play more balanced?
He has to change his starting 11. There's no two ways about it. We can't continue the way that we're going. There's been some notable performances, but not many. Most of them have been pretty poor, lackluster at best. People were saying, well, you know, Southgate is telling us to take off the gas. That's not true. You know, as footballers, and I've said this before, and I'll always say it, you should have that ability, that inner strength to want to win every game of football that you cross that white line and you take part in, especially when you represent your country, and especially when you're in European Championships. It should be a no-brainer. It should be a given. And when you've got Southgate saying, well, we haven't got a player like Phillips, or we haven't got this, or we haven't got that, you just think to yourself, hold on, take a fucking step back a minute. Look at the squad you've got. Now, look, Wharton, from what I saw with him at Palace, what a phenomenal footballer. Kobe Mino, from what we've seen, phenomenal football. Cole Palmer, phenomenal footballer. Mick makes a point about Anthony Gordon. I'll tell you something, with 25, 30 minutes to come on, you pop Anthony Gordon on, he's going to carry the ball where it needs to be.
Yeah.
He's going to cause chaos where it needs to be. He's going to cause free kicks. He's, you know, and potentially even get you a goal. Whereas Phil Foden won't do that. Now, people will say, well, Foden's brilliant, blah, 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 blah. For City, he is. He's not doing it for England. Yeah,
he's more of a system player than
position. Well, don't play him then. You know, play in that position, don't play him. The best way to win football matches is to get the right players who can perform the position and the system that you want. And if Phil Foden doesn't fill it, you're on the bench, mate. Why? Because I can't play you in this system I want to play. I haven't got Harry Maguire. People will laugh at that, but everybody knows how important he is to England. Everybody knows how important he is to England. Gay is doing all right. We haven't got Luke Shaw. So we're going to have to play Kieran Trippier there. So I've got to somehow shore up the left side. And when we're attacking, I've got to make sure I've got people who can hold the ball, keep possession, use the ball efficiently, effectively, quickly, slowly, accurately. All of these are the types of play. And you put Trent in there, as good as a right back he is, right? Oh, and I don't think he's a brilliant right back. I think Carl Walker's the best that we've got at the moment. Bastard, but he is. And so you can't put him. And so Southgate should have gone, look, sorry, Trent, I can't get you in, mate. Unless you can prove to me you can play left back, I can't fit you in. I'm not playing 3 at the back. I'm playing 4 at the back. So I'll put you in. Well, Gaffer, I can play midfield, but you can't. You know. So when you looked at that bench and you saw Palmer, you saw Mino, you saw Wharton, and you saw Gordon, and you think to yourself, we're getting destroyed in the middle of the park. John Stones hasn't had his best tournament, and you just want players that can make an effect on the game. And it's actually the other issues, Jarvis. It's hurting Harry Kane. It's hurting his performance. People are saying, well, he's not spinning in behind. Look what Ollie Watkins did at the time. He's not got that opportunity to really, make a difference. So, if I'm Gareth Southgate, I am looking at what we're doing. I am thinking about how we do it, and I am bringing in Kobe Mino, and I'm not playing Gallagher. I'm bringing in Mino instead. I'm dropping Foden, and I'm bringing in Cole Palmer. That's exactly what we're doing. And I'm making
Jarvis,
no.
Jarvis, can I put something to the stage here? Gareth
Yes.
show.
Yes, please.
You know, love him or hate him, like Lockhurst, but I love this tweet that he did. Southgate is showing why
Can
United.
you enhance it so we can see, because it's a little bit small.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's what
my
she said.
eyesight is not what it used to be.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
was
she
mine.
said.
I might have to get my glasses on.
Yeah.
All right. I love this tweet by Lockhurst. You know, you love him or hate him, but he did something brilliant. Southgate is showing why United shouldn't go anywhere near him. It's like,
Wow.
yeah. Look, guys, at the end of the day, it was reported that everyone is fit. That means Luke Shaw is going to probably play in the knockout stages. And what was the purpose of, you know, picking Luke Shaw? Why didn't you send him home, right? You don't have any left backs, right? But from a Manchester United perspective, I would be furious. I would get myself on the phone, calling the England camp and say, get Luke Shaw home ASAP, right? I think that's poor management. So Luke Shaw hasn't kicked the ball for 4 months, right? His availability last season was 49%, 48%.
Yeah.
And now you're playing yourself fit. You're doing everything you can to get yourself fit to even play in the knockout stages for England. I mean, what are you thinking? He's a Manchester United player, first and foremost. We are paying his salary. I would say, no way, Jose. What's your thoughts on that?
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. If I was Luke Shaw, I would have said to Southgate, if you're going to pick me, fine, but I will not come out unless we get to knockout stages. I cannot do it, and that would be my terms. And I'll stay at Carrington, and I'll get fit at Carrington. I can go every day. I can do what I need to do, and I can do that. And once I'm fit, and only when I'm fit, I will come out. If you can't accept that, Mr. Southgate, don't take me. You made that decision with Harry Maguire. Don't take me. Well, you're only recognised left back.
For me, 2 games we played. Okay, 2 games England played, 2 wins, right? That's fine, cool. But there's been the same. There's no imagination. So basically, same lineup, same substitutions. You know, what's the point? What's the point? And you can clearly see you're not getting the best out of the team. It's such an imbalance, right? And you look at that bench and you say, what the hell, right? And now you can understand why Lockhurst is saying Southgate is showing where he shouldn't come near to Manchester United. Like, don't even mention his name, right? So how do we get the best out of the squad then, right? And Slovenia, they're not mugs, like, you know, Benjamin Sesko.
No mugs.
Yeah, it will be a difficult game. When it comes to me and Luke Shaw, I'm actually okay with the Luke Shaw going with the England squad, because, you know, he doesn't need a vacation. He haven't played almost a game this season, and for him to train in a higher level than staying at Carrington and training with the under 18s or whatever, I think it's better, because we all know Luke Shaw's professionalism when it comes to vacations and days off. He always comes back to preseason shape like a donut. No offense, but now he actually have to keep up his level during the summer. So for me, when you think of United, I think actually we come good out of this, but not England, because he's not available. So,
Jens, do you think there was agreement between United and the what do you call it, FA Association England, right? To get Luke Shaw back into fitness, go in there and train with the guys, right? It might be so as well.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's been done before.
But something's going to drop, because obviously we're looking for a left back, and you know, I've seen pictures now and videos of Hariyama's training. He's going to be part of the tour as well. So
on tour,
do we really need to get a left back, or you know, Kirkus? We've been linked to him, or do you reckon we go what we got? You know, let's Malacia play himself into fitness, Luke Shaw into fitness, and not really, right? We have 2 injury left backs. We don't really have a left back, do we?
No, I think it's one of the reasons why they're so keen on bringing in Brantwaite, isn't it? Because he can play left back. I think it's one of the reasons they want him to do that.
Yeah, there's some breaking news regarding that as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's coming from attacking football. Just about an hour ago.
Okay.
It goes like this. It goes like this. The attacking football is quite good account, and this is our friend Jack Talbot that we had on the show a few times. Good on Jackie. The way was put forward to me, he says that it will be done for 55 million plus 10 million add-ons. Jack Talbot reveals that he was told that Jaron Brentford would eventually be going to Manchester United. So when I know Jack, and we will eventually get him, I think, for 55. Do you reckon? I mean, this has been a deal that's been going on for ages.
Yeah, I think 55 plus 10 add-ons is acceptable. I mean, they're going through a period of due diligence on the sale. They've got issues. I think PSR changes from the 1st of July, doesn't it? So people want things done. They want things agreed in place. Plus, haven't they just signed somebody, Everton, for about 10 million?
Yeah,
or
they
something?
did too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
they haven't sold anyone yet.
Who did they
No,
sign?
I don't believe so.
Other than youngsters to help out with the.
I think so. Yeah, it was about 10 million they've signed, and maybe they've sold a couple of youngsters or whatever. But I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the Branthwaite deal will go through. Am I overly excited about it? Not particularly. I think he's okay. Again, one for the future, I'm thinking. But you read a lot in the press at the moment about De Ligt being linked again, and he's only 24 years old. My personal favourite, Max Kilman, is being coveted by Newcastle, isn't he? As well as us potentially. A lot of the fans don't want Kilman anywhere near the club. That's fine. That's up to them. But I'm not really sure where you'd want Branthwaite ahead of Kilman, personally. But that's just the way that we are. So I think it'll get done, Mick. I think you're right. I think
he will be done.
I think
he will be done.
Yeah. And
speaking about other centre backs, Jarvis, as well, if you don't mind. Some other news.
This is the guy from Aston Villa for 9 million.
They paid 9 million for him, you know.
Yeah, but listen, we know that they need to raise 50 million not to breach the PSR, because if they do, they will get points deduction big time, right? We know that they're playing a game. It's a game of chess. United said, "Nah, this is a bid. That's it." They're going like, "Oh, we know that you paid 75 million for Harry Maguire, so you have money, right?"
Yeah.
So eventually they have to cave in, because, hey, how many days do we have left? What, 5-6 days? So I think there needs to be done now, because they need to register the ledger, right?
Yeah.
But they're banking on they're going to sell Calvert-Lewin. They're not going to sell anyone. So are they that stupid that they're going to just say, we're going to keep it and we're going to take points deduction?
Well,
there's a couple of days left.
But that could be the end result, point deduction or a transfer ban.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. I have some news coming in from Rush Mano. It's on the Ruud van Nistelrooy case. He said from transfers, MUFC reports that Erik Ten Hag's new contract at Manchester United could include the promise of a new coach, with the possibility of Ruud van Nistelrooy joining. It's from Charlotte Ducker. I don't know if she's related to
Dunker.
To Dunker. Yeah.
Dunker.
Dunker. I think I thought it was the Ducker.
She slams dunks.
Yeah. So this is another thing, Ten Hag's new contract, because he still has the veto when it comes to transfers. He hasn't signed a new contract yet. Will it create difficulties into the next the transfer window? This window? No. Do you think so?
No, that was signed under the old establishment. This is the new establishment, which is where they're going to say you're going to be the head coach.
Is still valid.
Yeah, it is. And he's clearly had a say in the transfer window 100%. Like, the targets that they looked before the Ineos, this is the target still on there, plus some add-ons, I think so. Omar Barada starts when? In the middle of next month as well. Dan Ashwood looks like he's not going to start until March. They're willing to play the long game, not to pay anything, right? So who do we have in charge right now? You have Jean-Claude Blanc, who has a little bit of knowledge of football, 100%. You have Matt Hargreaves in charge of negotiation, and plus Will Cox, who has done a little bit, about 10 months experience as a sporting director, helping out. So I think there's a clear direction what they want to do, and there is help in terms of negotiation. And then Brada comes in. He's not the yes man. He's the no man. He will challenge it. Why are you gonna pay 75 million? No, we'll walk away, right?
Yeah.
So I think part of this contract is probably to say, well, you're gonna have a little bit of a say. I think you're gonna come to us and say, from a persona perspective, what do you need? And you're just going to coach, manage the team and the assistant coaches, and we're just going to deliver. Like, we're going to be the chefs in the kitchen. We're going to serve you. You say, here's three left backs. This one costs this. They all fit the system and the profile what you want. Which one do you want? Right. So there's three targets. One is 60 million, one is 40 million, one is 25 million, but they produce the same outputs. So I think this is the way it's going to work. Like, if you look at the centre back positions right now, there's the Boca Juniors guy, right? As well.
Yeah, you told me about him. What's his name again?
Anselminho, yeah.
Yeah. This is the guy, Boca Juniors.
40 million bid for Anselminho, which is coming in now. Like, we've been linked with him for quite a while. I know that Chelsea's been lurking around, but if you look at Anselminho, he is the next up and coming. He's already a star in Argentina. Go look at his compilations, some stats and stuff, and you will see what I'm talking about. But according to Boca Juniors, believe that they have a concrete chance that Manchester United will submit a proposal for the centre back Aaron Anselminho in the next coming days. Chelsea has already made a 40 million bid for Anselminho, which is being considered by Boca. So Chelsea is sniffing everywhere. That's the thing, right? Chelsea's buying off. I don't know what the hell is doing. They're just buying youngsters. But Anselminho is we've been talking about Anselminho for months, right? There's a deal to be made, and there was even a deal talking about, but that's kind of falling apart now because we're thinking to buy him and loan him up to OGC Nice, right?
Okay.
But now we're gonna probably buy him because he's good enough, like, very technical, very tall, very explosive. And he will thrive playing next to Licha. But in certain ways, but still young, right?
But Mick, I have to say, being a realist, I try to keep it sensible. When it comes to rumors like this, we never sign players like this. It's not in our DNA when it comes to the club. For me, I think this is agent talk. They're just putting his player out there, making it available. And for me, I rate this a 1% chance.
Well, Ten Hag used to play in that shop in that market. He got actually Licha from that market. So what is to say that we haven't dipped into the Brazilian market and Argentina, the grassroots leagues over there as well? I mean, for me, there's a chance, 100%.
Yeah, but it will be a big change in our transfer strategy if we try to go for players like this. Yeah, sure. I would love us to try some up and coming players from South America, but when did we last sign anyone like this?
Yeah, I don't know, but this is what excites me. Like, you will see signings that you are not so sexy signings, but on the other hand, if you look at the Rafael Varane replacement, I argue to the point that we need a little bit more experience in that role, right? Like, we need something about at least 23 years and up, and the one that we were looking at was Jean-Claude Todibo, right? Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 24, I think 23, 24. And I spoke to you about this earlier. Like, the UEFA club competition rule states that you cannot buy the player. There will be a ban because both Nice and United are in the same competition. But if you look at the governing body, FA and Premier League is two different separate things. Similar to what you had with City 150 charges, which was handled by UEFA, and then now it's over to FA, right? With no interference of UEFA. So that means if you interpreted that rules, I even did an article, the United can still buy this Kieser and still play him in FA under FA regulations, Premier League, domestic leagues, but you cannot play him in Conference League, Champions League, or Europa League. So that is the only crux. So I don't understand what media and reports are saying that the deal is off. So basically, they need to work with UEFA on the blueprint. How can we do this? It's not off, right? So what's more important for you guys? Like, you get a centre back, they can play 38 games in the Premier League plus all the cup competitions. And when you play in Europa League, you can use like other centre backs. It doesn't really matter, right?
No. But wasn't that used to suggested that he could just buy himself out of his contract?
He
To be
can,
a free
he can buy
agent,
himself out of
and
his
then we can
contract.
sign him.
I can't
Who's
imagine
gonna give him money?
more than I can't imagine he's earning more than $5 million a year at Nice. I mean, I don't know what he's on, but he could quite easily buy himself out of his contract, do a deal, get himself out of his contract, and then becomes a free agent. So it doesn't matter. Once you're a free agent,
we can just loan him out. Like, you know, we can go to the
to
what's it called? That
Lausanne, yeah. Or Nice sell him to Lausanne, and then we buy him from Lausanne. I mean, there are ways of doing it. That's what City would do.
Yeah.
Dodgy
Dodgy business, but it's the way it is. Joseph O'Hanlon is a member for 6 months. Big up. Thank you for being a member. Since we started so late, 10 p.m., we're not going to do a Scorsese movie tonight, 2 hours, 45 minutes. No, because Stu is an old man. He needs to sleep. He needs his beauty sleep. And
I do need my beauty sleep, yeah.
And the same with me. I have work in the morning. So in about 20 minutes, we will wrap this up. So I think we should just go to the Q&A session. So guys, you can think of questions to bring us, because at the moment we have only one question in the Q&A session. So the last topic of the night is going to be this one. It's where is it? I'm just gonna find it here. It's Adam van Bissaka, and we heard that he has verbally agreed a contract with Galatasaray, and United want 15 million for the right back. But Galatasaray are actually trying to reduce the fee to 10 million.
Well, that's what they do.
And talks are set in place. So the thing is, Van Bissaka, you know, he played a good FA Cup final. He's been a loyal servant of the club. He's been doing well when he has the chance. And Todibo earns.
It's a very small amount to buy yourself out of a contract, man. Very small amount.
But how many years do we have left? How much is his contract worth?
Don't know. We'd have to perhaps look at that. Yeah. But 22 grand.
Someone in the VAR can do the math and get back to us. But going back to the Van Bissaka thing, he's been a loyal servant for the club, and you know, he's performed well when he got the chance. And we only have two right backs at the moment, Dalot and Van Bissaka, and we know Dalot is overplayed. He plays almost every minute and he's never injured, but he has to stop somewhere. And what do we do then if we sell Van Bissaka? So the thing is, what do you guys think? Should we sell Van Bissaka or should we keep him? Because you have 1 year left on his contract. We have the opportunity to add 1 more year next summer, but
nothing. 3.5 mil. Sorry, nothing.
I will go first if you don't mind.
And 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah.
And he's on 80 or 90K a week or something like that.
Yeah.
In that bracket.
The thing is, like I said it before, like, you know, if you don't get good money for him, just keep him, right? I would just say keep him, because you know you're gonna play Dalot anyway in front of him. But there'll be moments, what we saw in the FA Cup, for instance, where he can pocket a Doku, right? Let's not forget he's one of the world's best 1v1 defender, I would say. But for 10 million euros, I would wait for the Italian leagues to come in. Like, you know, he will fit like a glove there in the dark Italian arts of defending. Like, you know, extend his contract potentially, but it depends on what you want to do, right? There's potential links and rumors that we're going to trigger Frimpong's release clause, but it's all depending on Van Bissaka. So that kind of gives you an indication what kind of style of play we're moving forward to, right? So depends on what is the price, like, you know, what is the sacrifice? If we're not going to get Frimpong or anything other, I'd just say keep him. I don't know.
But you know, Mick, if we keep him, we have to give him at least a 1 year extension, or maybe another contract. Maybe he can put an ultimatum to the club. I won't sign a new contract if you give me an extension, blah blah blah. So I will leave on a free. But
on the other hand,
United player will leave we will have no money.
Stu, on the other hand, these
Mm.
Turkish clubs, they take it for mugs. They go window shopping with us. Like, we are not the Manchester United of the old. Like, we're not going to budge. Like, 15 million, take it or leave it. Right? You got to be firm. What other message are going to send to the market? The same thing with the Brentway as well. Like,
Yeah.
you got to set a precedent. 15 million or nothing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm not so sure it's cut and dried anyway. I think it's probably paper talk, to be fair.
Yeah.
If unless he wants to go, unless Wan-Bissaka himself wants to go, he's had no assurances for next year, so he's decided he wants to go. But my preference would be extend the contract for 12 months, take up the option for 12 months, and then, as Mick says, if we are going to sell him, I think people will pay probably up to 30 million for him, because he's no mug, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, at all.
No, absolutely.
He is no mug, and people will know his qualities. And there are teams out there that don't require a right back to be a marauder up and down the wing. They just need him to be a right back, and he will fit into that perfectly well. Those types of teams, it'd be ideal for the German market, and as Mick said, it'd be ideal for the Italian market. But I think we need to keep him personally. If we can't get the right back that we want, i.e. Frimpong, etc., then we need to keep him, because obviously we would consider Robinson, wouldn't we, from Fulham, to be a decent fullback replacement, because he can play both, right or left, a decent fullback replacement. And if that is the case, and we keep Shaw, and we keep Dalot, and we keep and we bring Amas through, then you've got an opportunity to maybe make some money. But ultimately, you're taking a big hit off him at 50 million. He had a decent season, although he was in and out the side. It didn't particularly perform well at left back, but he was much better at right back. And as the VAR room have said, if you have issues with keeping Dalot fit, and you don't have that quality to come in to play, then you're going to have problems. So I don't know why you'd want to go to Turkey anyway.
There's good kebabs there.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, I don't think it's the right move for him. But was it Fenerbahce? So is that Mourinho that's put the bid in? Is Mourinho that wants him? Is it? Or?
Mourinho, I think.
Yes.
No,
I just thought Mourinho too would have wanted Dalot.
Mourinho loves our ex-players, so he wants to take Lindelof.
Yeah.
He can take Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, he does.
But all I'm saying is that he will fit down in Italian leagues like a glove, Wan-Bissaka. Right? Anyway.
Yeah. So, but he's one of those for me.
Yeah, Mano brings out a good point here. He said if Wan-Bissaka is not Plan A, why would he be here with a new 3-year deal? Because this could actually happen if we keep hold of him. If we're going to sell, now is the time.
But look, he's got no international aspirations. Okay, he's nowhere near an international call-up from anywhere. Does going to Fenerbahce, if you're him,
he's a better left back than Trippier.
Yeah, does that enhance your international aspirations? Absolutely not. No.
There's another spanner I want to throw into the wheel while we're here. Big up Das Lifts, 20 million for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Italian League, 40 million for Frimpong, as just 20 million net spends. Frimpong can play as right wing back, and Dalot inverting, or Licha inverting, playing as a left back, and Brentford as CB. I like that. Really like that. But I want to throw a spanner in the wheel, because I remember that there was a report to say that we are interested to get Marco Ihi from Crystal Palace. Yeah. Now that the Olise has gone to Bayern, there was a report to say that Crystal Palace is interesting to take back Aaron Wan-Bissaka for a sort of player plus cash for Marco Ihi, right? So Marco Ihi would be about, let's say, £60 million, you reckon? And then you can throw in £20 million British tax on it, and you get a fantastic centre back for 40 million. Problem solved. That could be a solution.
Yeah, it could be. It'll be interesting to see how that one transpires, really. But when you're looking at, again, we're looking at squad building, squad rotation here. Is he a necessity? is right back a key area for us. Centre back we know is, centre midfield we know is, and a striker is. Something's got to give somewhere along the line. So it could be that right back gives, he stays. We signed him up for another 3 years, Jarvis, and he then moves on organically rather than we push him out the door now in the hope that we might get Frimpong. Or if we can get Frimpong, then yes, I can see that logically how that would work.
Yeah. For me, I think the question is Wan-Bissaka the right profile? And if we are keeping Ten Hag as we know now, he needs his profiles to get the system.
Yeah,
and you know, if Wan-Bissaka is not it, I'm okay with selling him, to be quite honest.
Look, guys, just gonna play a devil's advocate here again. Frimpong is dirt cheap on the market on the release clause. You get a fantastic wing back. You know, you would be stupid not to trigger that release clause. I think it's 35 million, right?
Yeah, it's cheap.
What kind of outputs you get? You might be playing 3 in the back. You might have 3 confident in the back and play like, you know, bombing forward wing backs. God, I you know, depends on how you're going to play, but I don't want to be sentimental. Like, you know, I love Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know, I love his defending. But if you're going to move forward to be a winning team, you got to make sacrifices. And if that means to get a Frimpong instead of Wan-Bissaka, I take it. 100%.
Yeah,
I take it.
Yeah.
Right,
I see we have some questions coming in for the
We
Q&A.
do. Yeah.
So before we go to the Q&A, just one last thing, because I just want to share this. No one has mentioned this. I don't know, the source is very good, but it says that Sofyan Amrabat is expected to make a move permanent, and the key figures is in his decision 4+1 year with the club. Official announcement.
Yeah, it's a
expected
no-brainer.
at the beginning of July. So what do you guys think of that? Keeping Amrabat, is that a good move?
It's a no-brainer.
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 No-brainer for 13 mil. No-brainer. 20 mil total, whatever it was. Yeah, no-brainer. I'll keep it.
4+1.
Oh yeah. His value is either going to increase or it goes down, but it doesn't go down anything from 20 million quid. What's 20 million quid in terms of football? It's an absolute no-brainer. It really is.
No.
Yeah,
I did report on this.
It says it's a good deal, and Nick Nash says yes. So the VAR rumors agree. Mick, you were saying?
No, I did report on this as well. So yeah, I think this is a great. I know that there was conversations going on between them, and you know, for me, it's a no-brainer. You trigger that 20 million, whatever. We paid already 10 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Fiorentina don't want him. He showed us, like, you know, we gave him a fair crack of the whip the last 4 games of the season, and we played him in the right position, and that showed me that he was the anchor in between the defense and really made Kobe Mano be able to play in his best position, right? Okay, he's not that, I call him Amra Tank because he moves a little bit like that, but he's good option of the bench, right? If we go and get young João Neves, right? João Neves is not going to start every single game. You need somebody experienced to bounce from. So you get João Neves, you get him cheap, and you get let's say Rabiot for free. Boom, your midfield is sold. Is sold like 100%. No-brainer.
Yeah,
totally agree. If we can get Rabiot as well, yeah, totally agree. Fans are finally opening their eyes to the majesty that is Mr. Rabiot. He's had quite a good tournament so far. He's a very
Just
good
forget
tournament.
his mother also.
Yeah, and well, Veronique, yeah, she's a bit of a pain, but isn't it telling though? You've got Rabiot and you've got Conte. Does that not tell you a lot about how France view both Rabiot and Conte? Really interesting, guys. It's time for the Q&A. Time for the Q&A. We love this. Mick, you need to do us a bit of a small intro for the Q&A if you don't mind.
Keep reminding me. Keep reminding me.
I
will call the Zerk.
So something like Jarvis's avatar with Q&A coming out of his mouth. Something along those lines would be quite
Imagine if we learn
like a Monty Python with a big foot coming in, like squatting.
Yes.
Listen, imagine if we land the Zerk. I call him the Zerk. The Zeg.
Zerky. Yeah.
Imagine when he scores a goal. Imagine what people will scream. Z.
Yeah, that's what it'll be. Yeah, the football fans' mentality will be something along those lines. Right.
If you want to check out what kind of profile he is, I did a video released this morning. I think brilliant piece of work. Go check it out. It's a video that gives you everything what kind of striker he is. It's like a glove.
Please. I've seen a couple of bits of him. Massively, hugely mobile, very technical. Really good finisher. Really good finisher. Jack, just briefly, we did go across Ruud joining the club. We went through it extensively a little bit earlier on, and I know you were in the comments, so I'm pretty sure you heard what we were discussing. But ultimately, we put our giddy heads on, and we're all excited. But we did have a factual discussion about the pros and the cons of Ruud, from a personal point of view. Would it be ideal from him? Would it not? Our take on it was we would love him. Ultimately, we all want him at Old Trafford. Right then, guys. We have KD. Not KD Lang, but KD. How are we still so bad at selling players? This is a great question already. 15 million for the world's best 1v1 right back while negotiating for 55 million for Jared after one good year. He's absolutely right. Either one of you can take that. It's a brilliant question, KD. Brilliant question. Mick?
Well, it comes down to he's got 1 year left on his contract. That's what it is. But it also comes down to who do we used to have as a negotiator? We used to have what? Right?
Yeah.
We used to sell players for 1 million for a packet of crisp. Not anymore. And that's why I said, now you have the chance with the new establishment to establish a precedent to say, if we say 15 million, it's 15 million. Do a Rui Costa at Benfica. Don't budge. If it's 120, it's 120. We're not budging. That's it. Walk away. Take it and go. Russell Peters. Take it and go.
Yeah, for me, I think it's basically it's a negotiation, and you have to be flexible if you want to negotiate. But we need to negotiate better deals, and you can do deals that's far better than we have done the last, I would say, 19 years under the Glazers' realm. And we all know our net spend. We don't get money for our players. Dan James is our fourth biggest sell, I think, in the last 19 years. So it's ridiculous. We have this new negotiator, Matt Hargreaves from Adidas, who's in, and we have the new structure with Ineos. I hope things will change, and it need to change, because we can't keep bleeding money in this way with all this financial fair play coming in, and it's very important for us to get our value for the players.
Yeah, I also think it's a brilliant question. Mick and Jarvis are both right. When you've only got 12 months on your contract, KD, then clubs will try and pull your pants down. They just will do for a 12-month player.
Yeah, especially when the Turks comes in, we've seen it before.
They do anyway, don't they?
They do. They come in with scandalous bids,
Yeah, it's probably lira as well, isn't it, rather than euros? They're trying to.
Yeah, we also saw a rejected bid, people coming in for Mason with 20 million here, 20 million there. What we said 40 million. That is as a price.
That's why.
And if we don't get 40 million, what's going to happen? Are we going to take him back?
Yeah,
have to.
KD,
I remind you that Mason Mount had 1 year left on his contract, and we paid 55 million. I repeat, 55.
Yes,
with 1 year left, 12 months. So this is
just who was in charge.
We are bad both ways. Selling and buying.
I even forgot we have Mason Mount in the squad. He hasn't. That's the thing.
It's almost like a new signing.
Well, apparently, if he played another sport, he would have been an F1 driver because he likes the glamour. Just tells you everything you need to know about Mason Mount's
making TikTok videos,
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and he wonders why he gets injured. Brilliant question, KD. Thank you very, very much for that. That's a great question. I hope we've answered it for you as well. Question from Kat. Hope you're still watching, Kat.
Okay.
There's tons of you watching. Mick, how many are you actually watching?
It's over 800 is currently live watching, and only 71 likes, but 75 likes. Jesus, scandalous, guys. If you hate 100 of you watching, get those likes up. Get the temperature rising.
Yes,
Jarvis has been slaving in the kitchen here, and Stu's been slaving in the kitchen. I just came in, and it's bloody 5:30 in the morning, guys.
Yes.
I love you.
We do. Question: how should Man United go about changing the poor buying-selling strategies in regards to the reputation we have for being ripped off? We've kind of gone through that already, Kat, but Jarvis, I'll let you kick off with that one, pal.
Well, it's a good question how we should do it, but we need to be better in negotiation. Mick mentioned one way to do it: be more strict, walk away when you can. Don't accept anything when they lowball us. That's the door. Bye-bye. That's the way to do it. But as always, as I said, we need to be better in negotiation. Ask them, what do you want? What do you like? What do you think is a reasonable price? Our price is 70 million. You offer us 15. That's ridiculous. Get out of here. Give us something we can work with. We have to be better in negotiations. But our biggest problem with our club is the contracts our players are on, because they are on such a high wage structure, all of them. So for the club, because it's not only transfer fee, it's also wages, and both of them are counted into the amortization of the next 5 years when you sign the player. So this is the problem. So we need to figure out our wage structure, and that's the most important thing. And it will take time. It will take about 3 seasons. I think will be enough.
I mean, we started already. I mean, we can see that we're starting the process, but let us not kid ourselves. Like, you still have to have flexibility in how you can pay a certain player. If you look at Chelsea, the harakiri, what they're committing, the suicide, is they made a cap on 150. So that's why they only get youngsters, right? But if you set a cap, Jarvis and Stu, that means that you cannot go and get this player that's from La Liga or something like that, that demands 250. So you got to be a little bit of flexible balance. But the way we are going right now is absolutely doing the right thing, fixing the errors of Woodward and Co. They used to give like silly wages and stuff like that. But it will take a couple of, like you say, windows to fizz that down. Hence what I believe that Casemiro is the next one that's going 100%. Varane was one of our best centre backs, but they looked at his wages, 18.2 million. Get out of the door. Casemiro is on 17 point something 8 million, 5 or something. There's no way they're going to sort of retain that. So maximum earner right now would be Rashford. It's on 300k a week after that, and that is something that and Sancho
250 or.
And I don't believe that you should definitely implement a performance-based wage. What I mean is that we can give you the 200 as a base salary, but you can reach up to the potential of 300 if you achieve X, Y, Z. Like you're a salesperson, right? A key account manager. Like you achieve your targets, you'll achieve this. So work your sock off for the badge and the shirt, and you will achieve this. But not we're going to pay you 300 straight away. It's got to be earned.
Yeah,
I think Brendan adds something here and say we need to be the club that adds value to players. You therefore have to look at the stage the player is in his development, and this is 100%. What Ineos's strategy is at the moment: buy players on the first and second contract. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Or buy players in the youth, 19 years old, like a João Neves. You buy him at 19, the prospect, the value will just go up. There's low risk, plus on the amortization. Like after 4 years, his value might be like 150, 200 even.
Yeah.
And you can sell them on.
Yeah. Kat, I hope that answers your question. For me, it's very simple. When you're negotiating, you You go in and you find out what the starting point is, and then you ask them to explain the value of that starting point. What's the mechanism of how they got to that value? Once you've got that question answered, you can then go away and evaluate your own, and then that's where you start the negotiation.
Or you do the John Cleese, or you do the John Cleese £5 for an argue negotiation.
Oh yes,
remember?
we do. Yes, yeah. I forgot about that actually. The legend. Duncan's got a question. Mick, this one's to you. What are your opinions on Bastoni? Yes.
Inter Milan.
He's good. I love him. I like him. But are we linked even? I haven't even heard we're linked to him.
I don't believe we are.
Well, there were some rumors, but Spurs were linked to Bastoni at the same time. So I think it was just agents putting it out there and linked Man United for the clicks. But we have been linked to Bastoni, but it's about 12 months ago.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of I don't know. The Italians that we had haven't really been successful. Like I like Portuguese signings because for a simple reason. Yeah, Darmian wasn't really successful, was it? Right?
No.
I don't know. Italians don't do well on the league. They've been few and far, but the ones that do well is Portuguese. For some reason, they are very adaptable to the Premier League, right? So I like Bastoni, but seriously, even there was even a link with us with Chiesa in swap deal for. That's like, get out of here. If it was 3 years ago, Chiesa, yeah, take it. Right now, no. But Bastoni, I don't know. I like Bastoni. I like the Italian style of defending. 100%, I do. Will we do it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mick, for me, when it comes to Bastoni, I always like Bastoni. I think he's suited for Premier League. He's big. He's 6'3", 190 centimeters tall. He's young. He's 25 years of age. He has a lot of experience playing for Inter and in the Serie A for a lot of seasons. Been to the Champions League final, playing with Italy. He's a great center back, but I think his valuation is very high. He's on almost 200k a week in Inter, so he would at least demand 350 for playing for Man United. And I think Inter is the sort of club that never sells their best players. So I think it's a dream, but it won't happen. For me, when it comes to Italian defenders, is this other guy who plays as a center back for Italy now. Riccardo Calafiorini. He's left-footed.
Wasn't it the guy that was driving forward right now and did an assist? Oh my God!
That's the guy, and he plays
what a
for
leap!
Bologna. He plays for Bologna.
He came like a gazelle, like in the last sprint. He was chased by the lions, and it's like, wow! Stretched his leg and passed. What a beautiful drama goal! Yeah, true.
He looks fantastic, and this is his FB ref stats. They are fantastic. His all is in green. Assist 99%, shot creating action 97%. All of this interceptions 96%, tackle 74%. So yeah, he looks like a decent defender, and he's young, and that will be the type of signing I think we can do. Bologna is a selling club. So yeah, if we are going for an Italian centre back, he is the one I would go for.
Yeah, I don't think we get either. I don't think we go for it.
No.
Yeah, I think we can.
Look, I'm not worried about the I'm not worried about the centre back. There's plenty of fish to fish out there, that you can get. So I'm more worried about the midfield. Like the midfield is balanced. We need to get the centre backs, and I think midfield needs to be sorted. I'm about signing that deal. Off we go.
Perfect. It's a good start. I hope that answers your question, Duncan. Thank you very much for that. Melis Cask, if I have not butchered your name. Jarvis, do you think City, Liverpool or Arsenal would buy a player who played 3 good games at the end of the season in 9 months? I think he's talking about...
Amrabat.
Yes, I believe so. He will become the well. I think he's suggesting that Amrabat will come the next McTominay. The fans want out soon after a few bad games. So what he's saying is, didn't play well for 9 months. Had 3 or 4 really good games. Will the fans turn on him towards the end of the season?
When it comes to Amrabat, I would say he came in with no preseason.
Correct.
And he had to sit out all pre-season because he was basically on a strike on Fiorentina. He wanted Man United. But our owners, the Glazers at the time, didn't want to pay up for Amrabat. We didn't have the money or whatever happened. No one knows. But for me, I think it affected his season in a very negative way. When he came in, he looked out of shape. He looked very heavy, and he needed time to train himself up to the level. But then there were no place for him to get into the team. He was trying to get to fight his way into the team through playing left back.
He played left back.
Played a lot of
He
games.
played left back for three or four games.
And he had some injuries on and off. He never got to get into the flow of games. And he said himself at the end of the season, I need more games to come into form. I'm not there yet, even though we were praising him for good performances. So I think Amrabat will come good. We all saw the player he can be, especially in the World Cup for Morocco and in the Europa League final for Fiorentina. So for me, I think he will be a good signing, and I believe he will come good.
But the thing is, he took his chance. He got his chance to play in his right position. And if you look at your squad, he's a loanee. Remember, he's a loanee. You will play your first team signing over the loanee any given Sunday. You'll play Casemiro because he's yours. And you will always pick number 2, which is a loanee, to sit there. But since we came in that situation, he was given his chance. He proven what he can do. Just give him 4 runs of games in that position. He will make it his. So I'm not worried about that one. He's experienced, he's mature. And the fact is that he loves to play for Manchester United, that he sat down and struck to say, I am only going to Manchester United. That is the player you want to have in the squad.
Yeah, totally agree. Melis, I hope that answers your question. I'm with the guys, by the way, on that one. I think Amrabat will come good. I don't think we'll have an issue with him at all. Usually I wouldn't entertain a Trevor Wade question. But as he's watching, that's mine and Trevor's little banter. That, bless him. He's a good lad. He hasn't given me any grief today, which is good. I'm sure that'll happen eventually. But
just for your information, 950 viewing live at the moment and 77 likes. We're about to close the shop and the Q&A. So get those likes up. It's free. Finger that like button right now, like Kevin Ashford does. Do it right now. Get it up, and you might see Stu do a chicken dance.
Potentially. So, Trev, and we'll go through this quite quickly because I think it's only a couple of word answer. What's your idea of an acceptable season for 24-25? For me, Champions League qualification at the very least, as well as cup runs, etc. Kind of think you've answered your own question, really, Trev. To be brutally honest with you, but I'll be interested to see what the lads think.
Yeah, Mick, you can go first.
Geez, we haven't really got through the transfer season as of yet. So it's hard for me to say. Look, as a United standard, I would like to think that the new establishment want to impress the fans. You know, there's no way you can come in and without doing any signings. I believe that we'll do a couple of marquee signings. You know, we're going to see some signings. But for me, I think we're going to win the Europa League, to be honest, because it's it looks good. But depends on who. Yeah,
I've seen Trevor's second question, so you'll enjoy this one. Trevor's second question in a bit. Sorry, Nick,
okay.
I apologize.
Okay, so we should definitely finish in top 4. We should definitely go deep and win Europa League, and we should get back into Champions League. That is what I do expect. But as I said, like I believe that this is the honeymoon period is over for the Glazers, not for the Glazers, for the Ineos or Trollus Limited, and I believe that they will sort of do a crowd pleaser by recruiting in a João Neves, something like that. I think they will do.
I tend to agree.
Because if you come in, you want to give a gift, like something.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Mick. I think there may be some kind of gift attached to our squad at some point.
And I believe that Stu Woolley will get a job as a centre-back coach.
That would be ideal for me. That would be ideal.
100%. Yeah.
Johnny K, we love Johnny Commode. Come in with a brilliant question, very light-hearted one. What's your favourite beer, Jarvis?
Well, for me, You have never
Eastbjörn.
tried it? It's called Isbjörn. It's basically polar bear.
Ice bear. Polar bear.
It's from Mac, the northernmost brewery in the world.
Is that a
Founded
lager?
in 1877 in Tromsø. So that's my favorite.
And that's a
polar
lager.
bear.
Is it? A lager.
Yeah, it's a lager. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Mick?
Ooh, I am particularly taster. I don't like lagers. They're too close to the water. It's like pissing in a canoe, or like Budweiser.
Jarvis,
I like a little bit of a pale ales. I like a little bit of a pilsner, 100%. German Erdinger is also good. Belgian beer. You can't see through it, like the Hoegaarden and stuff like that.
Yes.
But
So
then I do love a Kilkenny. I do love a stout. I do love a Guinness. Depends on what mood you are in, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a taster, right? It's like a red wine. It needs to be a little bit of a palate.
Yeah. Mine is very straightforward. Johnny K, Guinness, all day long. I like to go out and have a good 12, 13 pints of that when I'm on an all day, no problem.
Yeah. Doesn't work if you're on a calorie deficit, does it? I don't lose weight.
It doesn't work, period. That's why I don't lose it here, Mick. I like my Guinness. I'm also a real ale guy. Luckily, where I live, we've got some microbreweries who brew their own real ale.
Yeah. Newcastle, what's it called? That pale ale, Newcastle.
Well, they're more famous for Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yeah,
you get it in the bottle. They're more famous for that. Yeah, Guinness for me. I have to say. Right, guys.
Stu, a follow-up question: have you ever been to Dublin and to the?
Oh yeah. Yes.
To the brewery itself, in the top store.
Yes.
You get it directly from the source, the main tank.
Yeah, I'll be going over again in October. I've got to go there for business. So.
And if I do have a lager, I like a Peroni.
Oh, no, nothing wrong with a Peroni. Yeah, nothing wrong with a Peroni. Yeah, I can live with that.
Or Stella.
Mealis is back.
Not Heineken. I think it's.
Yeah, no, you don't want Heineken or Foster's. Mealis is back. Johnny K, I hope that answered your question, pal. Do you see United challenging for the Premier League in the next 3 years under Ineos and Erik Ten Hag? Again, we've briefly gone over this in the kind of last question, but lads, briefly, what would you say?
Yeah, we have 82 likes. We get 100 likes. We will answer the question.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I can go first because, in my opinion, the new structure with Ineos have done well so far. After 19 years of mismanagement, it won't be fixed overnight. So we have to be patient. 3 years, or I would say 3 to 5 years, we will compete for the league. We have no signings so far. Everybody is moaning about Ineos, but we won't sign anything until the new financial year starts. And it's clear that Ineos won't overpay for players, and I'm fine with that. They are negotiating hard, and they have plugged the leaks. So all this ITKs in the known, they are living on scraps, and basically there's just agents promoting their players and journalists just trying to clickbait us fans. And I like what Sir Jim says in his interviews. He has a vision, and I think he looks on the long term perspective of things. So yeah, I believe full-heartedly we will compete for something in the next 3 to 5 years.
Manchester United
going in the right direction.
Yep. Okay.
That's the minimum criteria. That's when I will go direct. Show me the money. Ineos, your honeymoon period is over. We Manchester United fans, we've been deprived. We want to see a trophy, Premier League trophy. We've been 11 years since we won one. We haven't won a Champions League trophy. Yes, please. I can see this happening. I can see this because now we're going towards the direction. Am I happy with the 27%? No. Do I think he's going to sell Nice and buy more stocks into United? Yes, I think.
So do I, yeah.
Will the Glazers disappear? Yes, I want. But first and foremost thing, Manchester United standards needs to go up. Right? Because Glazers has pulled our standards down, so we will accept to finish 4th, 5th. No, man. We're going to win in the league in 3 years, 100%. Give me that.
Excellent. Milis, I hope that answers your question. Trevor's given us a bonus question here. That's what I was chuckling at a bit later. Who would you snog, marry, and avoid on a night out between Jarvis, Mick, and Stu?
What the hell?
I would definitely avoid Stu, as I'd be afraid he would 2-foot me if I had blood highlights in my hair. Trevor, that would be absolutely correct. Well, there you go, guys. Well, that's probably not the question we can answer, but
no. No.
Yeah, it's for the VAR room. Who would you avoid?
It's a non-binary question, right?
Non-binary, yes. No, non-binary, yes.
All right, non-binary.
We will see. We will see.
Yeah. Well, I would like to say I'm marriage material. That's all I'd put out there. Great question, Trevor. It's I think it's made people giggle, and that's what tonight's all about, having a bit of a laugh. Question for Jarvis, Mick, Stu. When are you going to Hawaii?
Oh,
Alua. I would actually like to go to Hawaii. I would love to go to Hawaii. I've never been there. Have any of you guys been to Hawaii?
No,
never.
I've never had an Hawaiian shirt. I think I could pull one off, actually, to be fair. I think I could. So I might buy an Hawaiian shirt just to wear on here one night. So I think I could pull that off, an Hawaiian shirt. But no, I've never been to Hawaii, but I would love to go.
Well, let's plan it. Let's all make a plan. In 1 year's time, everyone saves up and we all meet up in Hawaii.
Why not?
MUFC Realist TV crew, panel, everyone that wants to come along, and let's have a party. Let's go surf.
I would love to. Well, I can't surf, but I would love to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii and
we can golf. Yeah, we can golf as well.
They have some golf courses there.
Yeah,
in Hawaii.
Yeah, and we have number one MILF hunter. He will do hole in one.
Lillis, great question, mate. It was a really good one. It's again made us laugh, mate, which is what it's all about. The legend that is Stephanie has come in, and she would like to know
the Queen.
Why does United contract extensions mean big salary increases? If players get injured or due to bad discipline or poor form, surely add that to the contract, half it may be. So I think what she's saying is why are we giving people? So when you extend your contract, you will always get a salary rise, always. So even in what we do as for work, you'll always get a salary rise. Brilliant though, because I tend to agree with you that there should be, you can't discipline a player or penalise a player if he's injured. It's just one of those things, unless he's gone off and done something stupid, which is written in his contract. He can't do. The discipline and poor form. The biggest problem you've got there, Stephanie, is there is a fine system within the football league pyramid. It's a maximum of 2 weeks' wages, and that's all the club can do. So they can't actually write into a contract because I don't think it would be in fair terms of employment law. That if you've got bad timekeeping, as an example, or you're up all night playing, I don't know, F1 TV or whatever, you can't. You can be internally disciplined, but there is a way that you have to go about it. So I don't think that can be written into the contracts. I don't know whether you guys have got any. I mean, you're a business owner, Jarvis. I know you couldn't do that.
Well, if people comes in late, you can.
No, but you can't write it into their. You can write it into their contract, but you've got to go through the disciplinary procedure, whatever it is in Norway. Yeah, it
is. It's bound by law. So
same here in the UK. Mick, I presume it's the same for you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you had injuries, if you have sick leave, too much. I mean, that would certainly look to put into something else, position lower down, and phase that person out, if you know what I mean, right?
You would find that way, wouldn't you? Yeah, you would find that way of transitioning that.
Yeah, because you have union and stuff involved, and there's certain things you can do and can't do, but there's certain ways you can make the person quit by himself as well.
Very correct. Yeah. It's a really good question, Steph. You're right. You kind of asked a good question about our stupid negotiations for player contracts. Absolutely. Sorry, Mick.
Yeah, but no, of course, agents are there to look after the player and say, well, you got to have a contract extension. That means more money. A footballer's career is very short, and in a footballer career, you can have a leg break or whatever. So, of course, you got to take that in consideration. But the question is, well, I think what Stefan, are you worth it? Right?
Well,
What have you done to achieve this? Right?
Yeah.
Right. You look at Amrabat. Let's take an example. Amrabat. Look. He's a. We forgot to mention. I think he's on 60 or 70K a week.
He's on a small amount, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Now you look at Leacher. He's on 120, and now you're going to bring in a Brentwaite who's had one good season in Everton and pay him 140. Why?
Yeah. No.
You can ask the question why.
Yeah, Brantwaite should come in at 60 grand.
But so there's got to be a balance between the agent negotiating it, but you as a club need to say no.
Yeah, well, 60 grand, we'll give you a decent bonus scheme. You play 20 games, we'll push it up and do something along those lines, which we don't do, but that's what I would do.
Take Anthony Dos Santos for example. Take him. He was like on 20K a week, and we gave him what, 200K a week?
200 grand a week, yeah. 20 grand, madness. Guys, we've got one final question. It's from our good old friend Ian McDonald. The questions have been actually top draw tonight. A question for the panel. And again, I like this question. How many losses will it take for Ten Hag to get sacked next season, considering 19 losses wasn't enough last season? Brilliant question, Ian. Guys, over to you.
Well, you know, Ten Hag, he had a 10 million sacking clause this season, and we didn't have any money. So I think that affected the decision in a very big way. We couldn't actually afford to sack him, I think.
No, we couldn't. Yeah, I agree.
So, but next season maybe we will be better off. I think we will have balanced the books in a better way. So Ten Hag is living on a thin line next season. So 19 losses, no way, he won't live through that. But I think also the expectations for next season is that we are in a rebuild. We are not expecting to compete next season. So, you know, coming in, I would say 4th or 5th, they will maybe accept 8 to 10 losses.
I would say that it would now be equally responsibilities now where they actually said you're going to be the head coach only, because the responsibility also has to go on the sporting director, the technical director, and everything else. So they have to make sure that we don't have 19 losses, right? So 10 is the name, 10 is the maximum losses, I would say. And there's a lot of 10 reasons why we should have this discussion, but let's just move forward and see, like, you know, it's down to the football instruction now, what we've been promised. So they got to make sure that we don't have the losses. They make sure that we have a proper medical staff. Apparently they are rebuilding the Carrington area training ground, making it the best in class and everything. So I don't believe that next season we will see those kind of drosses and losses, to be honest, like, you know, because I think we identified all those issues, what needs to be solved. And what was pretty much the centre back pairings, like, you know, in defense. As soon as we got the Varane and Licha back, it was solid. And this is how we beat City. So, and the midfield. So if we sort that out, I don't think we're going to see that, right? So 10, how many losses? Why don't you ask the question for any other manager than Manchester United manager? Like, you know, why are we the only ones getting this question? How many losses for you getting a sack? Well, other ways get away with murder. Why does it have to be Manchester United coach? So it is what it is. Ten Hag is the coach, and we can only like back him now. We can only back, but the proof will be in the pudding. But I'm looking forward for the next season, guys. I don't know about you.
Yeah, definitely. My belief is that he stays for the season. I think they made the choice. I think sacking.
Why would they discuss the contract discussion?
Exactly.
Like, you know,
I think sacking halfway through the season wouldn't be the right move. I think he stays for the season.
And then it comes that if we appoint a Van Nistelrooy, he would probably take over as an interim and might.
That's all I think. Yeah, that's what I think. We do have one final question, guys. Ian, sorry, I didn't answer your question. Milas has slipped in with one more question. And this will be the final question tonight, guys.
So skip to Mickey.
And how does it work? This is a really good question again. How does it work if we sell a player with a huge salary to another club? Do they have to continue paying these salaries, or why can't they just terminate the previous contract and give the player a new one? In short, on that one, Moolish, if you sell a player, then Manchester United are no longer responsible for anything to do with that player. So no salary or nothing. Everything goes to the buying club. So that player, so if I'm being sold and Jarvis is my agent and Mick is the chairman of Liverpool, for example, I walk through the door. Yeah, I walk through the door. So they've agreed a fee with my club. So me and the agent, and there'll be a contract or a terms paper on the table for me and my agent to go through. And then it's up to my agent and myself to either accept those terms or negotiate on those terms. And then it's up to the buying club to determine whether or not we want to do that.
There's also been instances, Stu, that you want to get out of this club, and you sometimes you want to get out of your job and you take a pay cut just to there.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So basically, in layman's term, to just say what Mr. Kask is saying here, is basically to say, like, once you negotiated, you might have got 250 at United, you might go for 200 at OG Nice, right? That's out of the door, right? So as soon as you get there, that is your salary. Like,
there's also a slight caveat. Mr. Cocker, sitting to my left, is looking at the term sheet and he's thinking, I could get an extra couple of million for myself here. No, don't sign that. I want this. So the negotiation side does go for it, but ultimately Manchester United are absolved of anything once a player walks through.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to announce that there's 984 of you been constantly watching, and we've gone on a 2-hour mark. We said we wouldn't do
so much.
Yeah, amazing. 88 likes. It's up to you. It's free. Hit that like button. And if you watch this in retrospective, give these two gentlemen above. This is an amazing show. Like, I love this Jarvis Corner show. 2 hours.
Yes.
Thank you, Mick. And it'd be great also if you could comment after the show in the live comments. And Jarvis always looks at them. So does Mick. And I do as well. And I know that Jarvis likes to interact with you after the show.
Yeah.
Any more? No, that's it, unfortunately. There have been some brilliant questions, by the way. Thank you all so much. If you can think of questions during the week, you can email us, send them into Mick and Jarvis. Anything you want to know, what's our I don't know, favorite colors, or anything you want to know about us, or
what's your favorite color? Pink boots?
Well, it's blue. No, I haven't got pink boots. No, I'm black. No, although I will own up to something. Okay, I'll slight own up. My boot of choice, as you all know, is World Cups and Copa Mundials. And I was watching somebody on TikTok the other day, and he's having a right pop at him and said, but he did get it right. He said, if you wear Copa Mundials, you're cooked as a player and you're over 50. And I kind of wrote back to him and said, well, mate, if you're still playing football over 50, you're not cooked, sunshine. You kind of know what you're doing. And he didn't reply back to me. But I do have a small confession. Adidas wrote to me because I'm a member of Adidas. It's only a small one.
Okay. And
they said to me, we've got an overstock on some Copper Gloro footy boots, indoor footy boots. Would you be interested? So I said, yeah, how much? And they come back 20 quid. I thought, brilliant. And I don't. Good old Trev. Trev, that's how you roast someone. And I said, what colour are they? He said, black. They're all black. I thought, oh, perfect, brilliant. I'll have them. So I gave him a card. Anyway, they're bright fucking white. Like bright white. So I've got a pair of white footy boots, which I wear. No, this is indoor 5G. We've got a brilliant 5G series. So I kind of have to wear a pair of bright white boots on a Wednesday, but on normal occasions, no.
Ooh, we are so close. 9 away from 100 likes.
Oh, well. Anyway, Jarvis, over to you. Sorry about that. I just thought I'd tell you.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant show. Thanks to Mick for coming on.
Brilliant.
I didn't mention it, but Tom is on holiday this weekend again. And
Again.
but Mick came in and helped us out, and Stu,
I
as
enjoyed it.
always, brilliant, and the brilliant VAR room, Trevor Wade, Stephanie
Amazing.
Lillis, KD, Duncan Bolito, the Badger, Melis, Kask coming in with questions, Kat coming in with questions. All of you, we wouldn't have a channel without
Legends.
you.
Yeah,
But
Burba was here as well.
I will give all you one challenge, because after the show, there's always one person who are the first to leave a comment, and that is this guy, Lillis
Yeah,
United.
he does always.
He's already been there.
Show. So my challenge to you guys is try to be the first to leave a comment. If you can beat Lillis, I'll give you a shout out on the next Jarvis's corner.
You know what it is? It's like that Lillis was here. It's always like this.
Yeah, but it helps out. It's supportive. It helps out the algorithms. It helps out the channel. It helps out the show. So people get those likes in. But come in before Lillis. Leave the first comment. That's the challenge from me to you.
6 more left.
Oh dear! Did you see Stephanie's comment to Trevor Wade? Absolutely brilliant.
Trevor Stiletto, yeah.
Stiletto is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Jarvis, with your permission, I want to promote something as well. Well, we have over 800, 900.
2 hours, 5 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. You have down here, you can read, you have the website. Go there, 100%. Yeah, click on it. Yeah. Because there you can read all the latest Manchester United transfer news and everything else. But also, if you haven't if you've been sleeping under the rock for the last week, we actually launched this transfer rating, which is live. Basically, go into Mufc Realist TV, participate, please. We have the transfer meter, we have the transfer rating, so everything that we've been ringed. I just removed Michael Elise from the playing cards. Yeah. So he's not long ago. Go in, put your rating, what you think is likely to be, like 10% up to 100%, right? Go in and put your votes in there right now. This is all deals in, and even the deals out as well. We are looking at every single Tom, Dick, and Harry that we're linked to, but also we are looking at players that we're going to get rid of. You get the drift, and then you can. Wait, what happened here?
Oh,
I got hijacked. Oh, sorry. And then you can go in to see, the hotter meter. Like this will then accumulate like a Premier League table. And we can follow it all the way to the done deal. Basically, the done deal is pretty much giving you the net spend, the deal in, and the deals out. It gives you a total what we actually spend in the summer window perfectly. So we can follow this all the way through live, and you guys will have a say into it. So I don't know anyone that does it. I've seen Mark Goldbridge does the hotter meter graphically, but we do it actually dynamic. So guys, go get it in. We will have a lot of special guests coming in here. We might even have Flying Pig United coming in there as well. We're having big plans. So I don't know when we're going to have the show because of Euros is freaking me out everywhere. I had it on Friday.
Well, we've got tomorrow, Wednesday. I think the Thursday, Friday, a blank. And I think we're back Saturday, are we? Sorry, is it Saturday?
I don't know.
We'll have to have a look. We'll have to have a look.
I don't know the schedule.
Yeah,
but
we'll do a transfer.
I won't be that much available this weekend because I'm golfing tomorrow night and Thursday night, and I think Wednesday I'm going out for a drink.
I'm playing footy.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll be doing the transfer show. Damn it! But anyway, just want to put to your awareness, guys. So, listen, go in there, get your votes in right now because it's open, right? The 1-2 is open. So the more votes you get, the more entertainment we're gonna get. Because next show, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Trevor.
Tom, Dick, and Harry. What about Mick, Stu, Jarvis, Mick, and Stu? 3 Stooges.
Oh, yeah. Jarvis pulled the plug.
Anyway,
yeah, I'm pulling the plug now. Let's just end it. But I just want to bring out this because Lillis, he accepted the challenge and he said, what did he say somewhere? He will be first. So, guys.
Hey, David Svensson. China.
Press end and go back to the show again and leave a comment in the non-live section. So this was it. This was it for the Jarvis's Corner on the night of the 25th of June. We will be back next Monday, maybe 10 o'clock because of the Euros. I don't know the schedule, but just subscribe and you will get a notification. So that's fantastic. We are on 97 likes. Keep hitting those likes, and we will see you on the next one. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.
Ooh, yes,